in the 90s that powerhouses like Muthapara, Zaidi, best-selling crime and law, formed a KGB-like brigade to introduce our author. She's a journalist with 10 years of work experience. She beats like crime, communities and healthcare. She had previously worked with Hindustan Times and Daily News and Analysis that is for Filmfare Award for Best Director. He directed Golmaal Again, the fourth film.
Thank you very much, Dhwani. Welcome all of you. It's such a privilege and honor to have Rohit here to launch the book. I mean, when I approached his office, I did not know that Rohit would be like so quickly accept the invitation to come and be the chief guest today and launch Jyoti's book. We thought about this book, for me, Rohit was the best candidate. I mean, someone who's from Karnataka, who knows this city, who's been interested in kind of crime reading and doing thrillers. So for me, he was the best guy, but I was very unsure if he'll accept it. So the moment I mentioned to him and he readily accepted, you have no idea how delighted I was. Actually, I'm very fat and old, otherwise I would have gone out and done some bhangra, that he accepted my request to be the chief guest today. Well, coming back to Jyoti Shelar, Bhais of Bengaluru is a very intricate and a very complex book. Believe me, someone who's not done any reporting in Bangalore, does not know about the city, I mean, except for her tourist visits and all. It's, I mean, quite difficult to go, cover the city, know the city geography, the political history, and not just that. No, that was not a blast. So to do this kind of mafia history and to talk about the dons of Bengaluru is amazing, incredible. And those who have read the book, they will know that how she started off with the genesis of, crime in the city, from the wrestlers who turned the dons and how they finally ruled the city. Just one point I would like to make here, which you will read throughout as a thread in the book. Most of the criminologists have mentioned, which now can be seen in this show at Netflix called Mindhunter, that people don't become criminal because of their genetic leanings. You can't say that a criminal's son will be a criminal or a saint's son will not be criminal. It is the surrounding, it is the atmosphere, it's the people around him that drive him to take to the life of crime. So you can't say that it was because of circumstances that he became criminal, as most of the criminals would like to say, whether it is Dawood Ibrahim, Arun Gavli or whoever, that halat se majboor ho gaya. It's a very cliched explanation, but absolutely unbelievable. What makes them a criminal is actually their surrounding, their own leanings. The surroundings influence in such a way that finally they decide to take to crime. And as you will read in this book and most of the crime books, that they go on to not just be a criminal, but they want to dominate as a criminal, which we all know is not because of circumstances at all, but by their own choice and volition. Here I would like to say that Jyoti Shelar has done a fabulous job, that despite being a health correspondent with Mumbai Mirror, she has gone and done a book, which I wish I could have, done or be, involved in some way to do the research, but entirely everything is her doing. She only called me at night to say that I'm safe here in Bangalore. Otherwise, everything has been done by this girl here. So please, loud applause for this girl.
The research for the book was very interesting. I was going to a different city. I've always been a reporter in Bombay. I have never worked outside the city. So that was the most fascinating aspect. I was going to a new city. Initially I was worried because I didn't know whether people will talk to me, whether they're going to give me interviews and things like that. But I kept pursuing them and things fell in place. So that's about it. I've dealt with the topic as a reporter, the way we go to, people looking for stories, that's the way I have treated it. The only difference is that I was chasing dons. So that was slightly difficult because why is it difficult? The dons in Bangalore, they are very image conscious now. Most of them are now white collar. They do businesses, they are into real estate, films, and they have their newspapers. So they don't want their past to be written about or talked about very often. So that made it a little more challenging, but otherwise things fell in place pretty much.
Me and Hussain sir go a long way because we've met a lot of times, discussed a lot of things, and I'm a fan of his work. The strange part, let me tell you, the moment I came here and sat, I realized that it's Bhais of Bengaluru, chief guest Rohit Shetty. Jokes apart, I had the privilege to read the book because Jyoti, Hussain came to my office one day that I thought just a generic meeting or a conversation which we regularly have. So he said, Jyoti has written a book, and by then I had not met Jyoti, so I was like, okay. And she's written a book on underworld and Bangalore underworld basically. So I was like, oh, quite interesting. And she would like to meet you. And then enters this girl. So I was like, you went to Bengaluru? She's like, yes. You stayed there alone? She said, yes. For 6 months, she said, yes. Quite confident, and I'm really proud that I'm sitting next to a brave girl like Jyoti. And she was so cool about it, like her whole attitude was like, yeah, so what, like. And then, one thing after when you read the book, and we all are into Netflix and Amazon now, that's the beauty of any book, because when you see a film, you're watching a vision of a director. What the director is trying to tell you, the story is trying to tell you, or the characters are enacting and moving the story forward. Whereas when you read a book, you become the director. And so it's like, it's so interesting when you read this book. It will be like you're watching a series on Netflix. Everybody will have their own point of view. Wow. Everybody, and the most, one thing will happen in Mumbai is that all the remaining Bhais who have left from Mumbai underworld, they will be in an ego. When you read the book and you realize, as she said, that they have turned into white collars and they're still there in Bengaluru. Some are running newspapers, some have become hoteliers, some have become producers, I believe, and they are living happily. They were that smart. And it's an amazing book. As Hussain said, that the germ, if you see, whether if you have read other books of Hussain about Mumbai Dons, basic of underworld, the birth of underworld or of a Don is similar. Either it is politics, or either it is revenge, or either it is that they are in need of money. There, Mumbai also had wrestlers. There also you see they had wrestlers who were turned into henchmen and then down. Power game, politics, fight for religion, fight for a language, and it's amazing. It's like when I read the whole book, it was for me, it's like I've seen for free. I've seen 10 episodes on Netflix on Bhais of Bengaluru. It's that well written. So I'm really proud of you, Jyoti. Thank you so much.
So ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we all will be meeting, can you have an encouraging applause for them, ladies and gentlemen? The Bhais of Bengaluru.
Thank you very much.
So I'll start with, I do, and my CEO, my George Cameron, and many of my staff, when I fire them a lot, 3 days later they'll tell me, you should do a film on Don, sir. You should do a film on underworld. You'll do really good. But it's quite.
I see the incarnation of Don in you.
So, but it's quite. I do always feel like making a movie on or a web series on something like this. Okay. It's quite interesting and intriguing because at the end of the day, they are intelligent people.
True.
It's not that they are, some dumb who's try to do something. If when you read it minutely and their characteristics, they are businessmen, they are calculative, just doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, yeah. So you mean you have future plans for this kind of enterprise?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay. I would like to know that, just one question after that. I'm sorry, you guys are... Among the underworld and mafia, who do you think is the most interesting character?
It's a very tricky question. I have to see how many of them know me or they can find my number. If I say now, he's interesting, tomorrow morning I'll get a call, we'll fund it, we'll make it, and then my life is done for a toss. So, I'll tell you in a closed door.
Just somewhere from the Azamgarh or Ratnagiri.
So, you know, it's quite, okay, they won't be offended, they'll be quite thrilled,
okay.
But I'll be in trouble.
Sure.
And you know I make Singham. I can't do this. I get fire from both the sides.
And have you ever thought of acting yourself? Like so many directors now, Karan Johar, Anurag, they have started acting in movies. Have you ever thought that you will also act and become a Don in some movie?
You also think like my staff?
No, I'm just asking.
You could have called a bank manager also.
No, Anurag played a mafia character in some movie. Karan Johar played a Don, so I thought maybe...
No, I'm happy directing and I'm happy doing television.
No such plans at all?
No, I'm a very bad actor, I believe.
You never know. So guys, now it's your turn. Whoever wants to ask questions from Jyoti and Rohit.